An open government meeting? I need the microphone, and I also think we don't have any electronic backup, so we're going to do voice votes and voice attendance. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
All right. Delegate Simon.
Here.
This is for attendance. All right.
Yes.
Delegate Delaney.
Here.
Delegate Cole.
Present.
Delegate McClure.
Here.
Delegate Coiner.
Here.
Delegate Bloxham.
Here.
Delegate Wiley.
Here.
Chair Carr.
Here.
You
Thank
have
you.
you have a quorum.
Thank you, sir. We have 4 bills to look at today. HB 2275, Delegate Ennis has asked that that bill be stricken from the docket.
So moved.
All right, and then we have a voice vote.
That's recorded. So
Yes.
All in favor should raise their hand.
All in favor, raise their hands.
Okay. There's no one opposed. Thank you.
No opposed. All right. Then we have, let's see, Delegate Bloxham, tell us about your bill, what it does, why we need it. HB 1838.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is what's commonly been, I guess, referred to in Twitter, which I've never been on Twitter before, but someone named as the Penny Lane Pub Bill.
The what?
I would like to rename that to Cross-Pollination Bill. When I first got up here some 10, 15 years ago, there was no limits at all on going out to eat. Not that I'm worried about going out to eat, but we've lost what I call cross-pollination between the Republicans and the Democrats. It was not unusual for a lobbyist to take out a group of delegates to a meal where you could discuss more or less in private and get to know each other, and I think we have lost that over the last 10 years. And this is a knee-jerk reaction from last session. I was talking to a delegate, Maldonado, and I'd never met her. And we had served on the same committee for the whole session, and I said, that's sad. So I'm just trying to bring back some of what I consider to be the camaraderie of the House. I get back to the Virginia way, where you can discuss different ideas and try to come up with the best solution, not one party solution or the other party. And that's what the bill does. I know there's a lot of people that say they can't support it. It's election year, it's, all the things, but I think this is something that we need to, if not this year, we need to move and make sure that we try to take care of, to get back to what I consider to be congeniality. Thank you, Madam Chair. That's the gist of the bill.
Thank you, Delegate Bloxham. Comments, questions from members of the committee?
Madam Chairman, question for the delegate.
Delegate Simon.
So I guess we do have, does the delegate agree that we have an ability to accept gifts of up to $100 from any particular lobbyist or lobbyist's client?
I would answer the delegate, Madam Chair. I think he's, $50 is not reportable, and then above that you can take up to $100, but you have to report it. Is that correct or not? I don't exactly know what the limit is.
Delegate Simon.
No, it looks like somebody with a big law book in front of us is coming forward to help answer that question.
Stuart Petto from the Conflict of Interest and Ethics Advisory Council. The current gift cap limit from lobbyists.
Excuse me, can you repeat?
Sorry, Stuart Petto, Conflict of Interest and Ethics Advisory Council. And the current gift cap limit from lobbyists and lobbyist principals is $108. It will be going up a little bit further this year because it's indexed for inflation every 5 years. It will probably go up to about $130, and that is the limit.
Madam Chair,
$50 is the reporting limit.
Delegate Simon.
So Mr. Petto is here if you want to stay there, because it may be the better place to direct these questions. So it's my understanding that if I were to go out to a meal with a member of the opposite party or the same party or whatever, and there were 3 different lobbyists and they had 5 different lobbyist principles that they wanted to, I'll keep the math a little simpler than that, but I guess the point is that gift cap limit would apply to each lobbyist and each lobbyist principal. So I could have $500 or $600 meal if they were each divvying up their share of the check. Is that accurate?
If it's properly accounted for, that is correct. Yes, Delegate.
All right.
Delegate?
So Delegate Bloxham's bill would only really help in that situation where I wanted to have I'm trying to imagine what kind of caviar and champagne and, top shelf liquor, maybe a couple shots of rare tequila or something. It'd take a lot, it would seem to me, to get to a place where the gift limit would actually inhibit a bipartisan group of legislators from being able to go out and have a meal and share a drink with each other. Would you, I don't know if you want to agree with that characterization or not, but there are lots of ways right now where we can get a fairly expensive meal within the gift cap limits that exist. Is that right?
That's a correct characterization, yes, Delegate.
Sorry. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Delegate Bloxham.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just to answer that, I think we've all been to meals where the lobbyists take the checks and they split them back and forth, and they do a lot of finagling to make sure that we fall underneath the rules. This is more for if a lobbyist takes out 5 or 6 of us, like we used to do, and you sit around a table and discuss whatever the issue is. They take out the freshmen on the Ag Committee, and you just get to know each other. You're going to be in each other's rooms for a while. This is not meant to get the fancy dinner. This is meant to relieve some of the pressure where you 3 or 4 lobbyists go out with you. But we're not talking to each other. We're talking to the lobbyists. I mean, I'm trying to get it to where delegates are breaking bread with other delegates. I think that's just an important thing that we've kind of missed. But I understand what the delegate is saying. I know where the bill is going. I just think this is a discussion that we need to have about getting a little bit of, as I said, cross-pollination into the process. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate. Delegate Salmon.
Madam Chair, I would just say, I think it's a great, laudable goal, and I think we ought to be having meals. The question is on whose dime, right? And what about that needs to be disclosed? And does the public have a right to know who's sort of sponsoring these sessions? And do they do it out of the goodness of their hearts and because they also share your desire to reinvigorate bipartisan conversation, or is it because they have clients who are paying them to develop those relationships? I just think it's a transparency issue. If we remove the gift limit completely, then, let me ask this, I guess, one more question, if I may, Madam Chair. But if there was no limit, if these were outside the definition of a gift, then regardless of the amount, regardless of who paid or whatever, there'd be nothing for us to disclose on our annual gift disclosure forms. The public would have no way of knowing that we were at such a meal, how much it cost, or who paid for it if this bill were to pass. Is that right?
Not entirely, Delegate, because while the members of the General Assembly would not have any duty to report because it's excluded, the lobbyist would be disclosing it on his expenditure report, so the public would see it that way.
Got it. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank
Madam
you.
Chair.
Delegate Bloxham, you still on?
No, ma'am. I'm fine.
Any other comments, questions from members of the committee? Delegate Hoyner?
Yes, Madam Chair. I'm just thankful I live close to home and go home and have dinner with my children every night instead of with you all, just for the record. So.
All right. Are there any comments, questions from the audience? Any comments?
Madam Chair, I just want to make clear that the Ethics Council does not have an official position on this bill.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone in the audience in opposition to this bill? All right. Committee moves by motion.
Just to wrap up, Madam Chair, if I could, real fast.
Yes.
What brought this forward, I think we all know, was from the McDonald episode, and he was not a registered lobbyist. So all that, I think, would have been not seen anyway with the bills we've created and how we've kind of, for lack of a better word, destroyed some of what I feel was the fellowship of the House. But thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Delegate Bloxham. Any other comments?
Madam Chair,
Delegate
I
Savin.
move to lay the bill gently on the table.
There's been a motion and seconded. We'll go to the board. And it looks like we're working now.
We'll see. Are your buttons working? Not displaying on here.
They're lighting, but they're not doing anything.
Okay, I think we're gonna have to go.
Have a voice vote again, or
Record it. My sheet's back out. All right. I'll call a roll.
yes, please.
This is a motion to table. All right. Let me turn my mic on. Delegate Simon.
Aye.
Delegate Delaney.
Aye.
Delegate Cole.
Aye.
Delegate McClure. Delegate Coiner. Delegate Bloxham. Delegate Wiley.
No.
Delegate Carr.
Yes,
Okay, it's
regretfully,
6-2
6-2.
to table.
All right, the vote is 6-2 to table the bill, but don't give up, Delegate Bloxham. I'll keep up with you. Next, we have Delegate Anthony. I'm thinking now, is Delegate Anthony here?
Robin, did you notify Delegate Anthony? Did you notify Delegate Anthony? Did you? Yes. Yeah. Try it again. Yeah.
In the meanwhile, while we're waiting for Delegate Ennis, there's a bill 2152 that I'm presenting, and
Did we strike Ennis's bill?
yeah,
Says you.
but I was just moving down to my,
Didn't we strike Ennis's?
yes.
We're just waiting on Delegate Anthony.
So then you, if I can let Delegate Simon take over and present my bill, please.
All right, Madam Chair, House Bill 2152.
Thank you. I have Delegate, I have House Bill 2152, having to do with the Virginia Freedom of Information Act. And this is about the FOIA officers being trained. Existing code was intended to require all FOIA officers to have specific knowledge of FOIA and to be trained at least once every 2 years. And by making the FOIA Council the primary deliverer of that training, FOIA officers across the state get uniform guidance and relevant legislative updates. Unfortunately, some attorneys who are also FOIA officers have taken the position that because attorneys are authorized to give training, then they don't need to get any training themselves. This bill clarifies that if they're the FOIA officer, even the lawyers need to get FOIA counsel offered or approved training. Government attorneys have a lot to keep up with, so by running their FOIA training through the FOIA Council, we're creating a system where they have easy to access authoritative information, and everyone ends up on the same page. Shouldn't be a big imposition on the FOIA Council because they already offer online training through the Commonwealth of Virginia Learning Center. And this bill also allows them to approve other training as needed. And, Mr. Chairman, I would like to call on Megan Ryan to pull this out.
Gotcha. Ms. Ryan from the Coalition for Open Government, right?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I guess, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to the other chairwoman for bringing this bill on our behalf. Yeah, we were seeing mostly in smaller towns and from lawyers that were being hired from outside firms saying things like, I am a lawyer, so I don't need to get training. And so we just think that everyone should be getting training from the same source. The FOIA Council currently does have an online training module that they can go through, and so we would just like to funnel them through that. And I'll answer any questions if you have them.
Thank you.
Any questions for Ms. Ryan or for Chairman Carr? Delegate Coiner?
Speaking to the bill.
Yep, Delegate Coiner.
Representing a small locality and just from experience that we've had, this is important and I'm very supportive of it and would like to thank the delegate for bringing it.
All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Anybody in the audience wishing to speak in favor of the bill? I know we heard from Ms. Ryan. Is there anyone else wishing to speak in favor of the bill? Anyone from the public wishing to speak in opposition to the bill? All right. I noticed that there's a fiscal impact. We have a letter.
Yes.
Okay. So I would entertain at this point a motion to report and refer to the Committee on Appropriations.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
It's been moved and seconded the bill report and be referred to the Committee on Appropriations. We're going to see if the machine works yet. We're going to.
Oh.
All right. Clerk will open the roll.
Disappeared quickly.
We had it.
So close.
What's happening?
We don't see it.
Disappeared
Showed our names and then.
All right, I'll call the
briefly.
roll. All right, Delegate Simon,
Aye.
Delaney,
Aye.
Delegate Cole. Aye. Delegate McClure.
Yes.
Delegate Pointer.
Aye.
Delegate Bloxham. Yes. Delegate Wiley. Aye. Delegate Carr.
Yes.
Unanimous, 8-0.
All right, that bill reports by a vote of 8, has recommended for reporting and referring by a vote of 8-0. Thank you, Delegate Carr. Delegate Carr, I think
Thank you. Thank you, Delegate Simon.
we need the gavel back.
All right, thank you. We have now Delegate Anthony. You want to get up and you have Delegate Anthony, HB 2038. If you can tell us what your bill does and why we need it.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the committee. HB 2038 is basically the prohibition of procurement and the use of insecure, uncrewed aircraft systems, which is the same as terminology as unmanned aircraft systems. In light of what happened at the federal level with the signing of the National Defense Authorization Act, the NDAA, where they have this infrastructure in place, even with our proposed amendments that we were going to bring forth to this committee, as well as budget amendments that have been put forth that will support public bodies in the transitioning of replacing all of their drones. We're going to be asking this committee to strike this bill.
All right.
All right, you want to, Madam Chair?
Delegate Simon.
Real quick question for the patron. Certainly, we could do that.
I can
Is there
talk
any value?
about.
Is there any value? Is there any value to you in having JCOTS or some other group look at this bill?
Yeah, but I could, move the amendments first as a substitute because we removed all of the preemption so that we can align with federal, what happened at the federal level, and we put in an infrastructure to help our Commonwealth transition. So it would help to have Jay Cox to take a look at this as well.
Once the amendment has been approved.
Yeah, I would like to move the amendment and bring forth a substitute, please.
All right,
so
all in favor of the amendment?
Does everybody understand? So, does everybody understand? We got some amendments that are going to clean this up. Ultimately, what's going to happen is we're going to lay this bill on the table, and then the chairman will ask JCOTS to take a look at the amended bill. So I know we need a whole lot of specificity on what those amendments are, but if
Yeah, there's a lot of, so we had to really kind of do a tremendous amount of amendments in light of what happened at the federal level with this. We tried to build an infrastructure for the transitioning process. And it's important for us to build that infrastructure. We just don't know if we'll be able to do it this session.
so.
Madam Chair, I move the amendments.
Second.
All right. We need a vote. Voice vote for the amendment?
You just voice vote
Yeah.
the amendment.
Voice vote, everyone in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, now, we open, amendments are adopted, and we open to another,
So I can speak a little bit about what our idea was with this, and that way, you can decide and we can generate that letter
Okay.
as well, if that's okay. Just basically aligning with that, what happened at the federal level with the NDAA. And we know how important to make sure, what's happening in light of everything in the news with uncrewed aircraft replacement grant program. And so we tried to build an infrastructure to make sure that our public bodies, our law enforcement, our emergency services will have an easy transition. And so in light of what is happening here at the Virginia General Assembly, that will support those public entities with that transition. We can wait to do this, but it does exclude advanced air mobility, which we haven't addressed yet. So it just includes the uncrewed or unmanned aircraft systems. And I did add in a provision of cybersecurity vulnerabilities. So we did add in VITA, but we wanted to make sure that Virginia Department of Aviation, along with VITA, just to make sure that, when they determine all of these insecure UAS pieces, that we have that infrastructure in place to make sure that public bodies are transitioning well. It did have a reporting mechanism of what our progress was in light of that federal mandate. So that was built in with these particular amendments that we brought forth.
Thank you. All right. Having heard the amendments and what we intended to do with the bill, we have a motion.
I move to we gently lay this bill on the table and ask the chairman to write a letter and see about sending this stuff to JCAS to look at some of those issues.
Second.
Second. All right. We-
Want him to see this.
All right.
You need to watch this. Notice the state of these. See how they're all blinking? And I haven't brought it up for a vote yet. Now watch what happens.
Oh, now we got it.
Work this time.
Just needed you standing out here every time.
Hasn't?
Nope,
No.
nope. That's what happened.
I can do it now.
Are you unanimous?
Yeah, we need to vote on this manually. We can't wait.
All right. Everybody,
I'll call the roll.
you want us to raise our hands? Or you want,
What-
do you
They're gonna be
need to?
unanimous. Okay. No, I don't. Go ahead and ask all in favor.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
Okay.
This is to lay the bill on the table and send a letter to Jay Cox.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Delegate Anthony. Any other business come before the committee? Committee's adjourned.